Hi, today on this episode of Build Your Own, we're going to build out and price a 2017 Dodge Charger SRT Hellcat. This is the top tier high performance model for Dodge and SRT, and this one doesn't disappoint. Surely you have read and seen the phenomenal numbers of the Dodge Charger SRT Hellcat. So what I really want to do is jump in and see what it costs to take one home and see how many options, what type of options can you get on a car like this. Is it comparable to what German performance sedans are offering, for instance? So let's check it out. We can see that the starting MSRP is $65,945. But before we jump into the build, let's just go over some of the high points of this Dodge Charger. Well, we know it's already got 707 horsepower from a supercharged HEMI V8. I know that HEMI is the 6.2 liter version and not the 6.4 liter version that's found in like the SRT 392 and I think the Scat Pack and Daytona 392. So quarter mile, 11 seconds flat. It's got a top speed of 204 miles an hour, and it's the most powerful sedan ever. It's got a little asterisk there, but you know there might be some other sedan that might be close, but 707 horsepower is a lot. So let's take a look at a few things. Let's take a look at the powertrain, the handling, exterior, interior, and braking from the perspective of SRT. I mean, these columns here, these categories, they're going to give us the high points on each of these aspects of the vehicle. So I think this is a good way for us to familiarize ourselves with the car before we jump into the build. So let's click powertrain, and what's it going to tell us down here? Well, it lets us know what we already found out up top. It's got 700 horsepower, does the quarter mile in 11 seconds, and it's got a 204 mile an hour top speed. They've got a video on it. They got a breakdown of the engine. It's that 6.2 liter HEMI V8. It's made it to a TorqueFlite 8-speed automatic transmission. This transmission delivers fuel-efficient street driving and maximum performance track driving with 160 millisecond shifts and rev-matching downshifts. So pretty cool. Handling. Let's take a look. What do we got here? So it looks like it's riding on a 3-mode Bilstein selectable driving dynamics suspension setup. So you've got what? You've got street, sport, and track. So in street, this is the least aggressive in shift matching for the transmission. Everybody will enjoy the ride in quiet comfort. So that's definitely when you want to cruise down. That's definitely the luxury setting. Over here on Sport, we've got a moderate shift schedule, faster than street mode with increased gear change force and rev matching downshifts. And a firmer ride with quicker shifts throughout the rev range. All right. On the street here, if we come back, obviously we know this is going to be that supple, smoothest, most compliant ride that you can expect to get from a Dodge Charger SRT, right? And they mentioned traction control here as well. And then in track mode, that's when, you know, all bets are off. That's when this 8-speed TorqueFlite will deliver those 160 millisecond shifts with rev matching downshifts. And obviously the suspension, the steering, and the traction control. Traction control is probably going to be the least. The suspension is going to be the most aggressive. The transmission shifts, the most aggressive. The steering, right, the most responsive. And traction control, I'm sure it's going to, in that mode, it's going to allow for a lot more tire slip. All right, so we've talked about the powertrain. We've gone over the handling a little bit. Let's see what they're talking about for the exterior. Let's see. Yeah, the car certainly looks like a muscle car with attitude is what they're talking about here. Aggressive stance. It screams style and performance. Got a lot of aero. What they mean by that is the body kit, the effects, right? Your front clip down here at the bottom of the car. You've got these, what I would assume are functional heat extractors up here on the hood. You know, you've got a wing for downforce in the back. So yeah, it's really nice. So they were talking about that front fascia there, and there's that wing for downforce. And looking at the interior, it's very beautiful. You know, you've got This particular one is that leather and Alcantara, and we'll take a look at all these interior ones, and I'll say my 2 cents about them when we get there. I certainly have ones that I like more than others. So that's the interior. They're showing some choice of colors: sepia, black Napa with the Alcantara, and then that red with the Alcantara. And like I said, we'll take a look at it. So what's up with the key? A restyled driver-focused interior. Da 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 da. It comes with 2 key fobs, a red and a black. The red key unlocks the full potential of the Hemi, and the black key limits engine output. All right, so we don't know how much it is. They don't tell us this right off the bat, but that information they might tell us. Else, it's probably really easy to figure out. So you've got the 6-piston Brembo brakes up front, right, measuring 13.8-inch rotors. That's in the rear. 15.4-inch rotors, 2-piece rotors in the front. So aggressive, right? Because think about it, the car can go very fast, and you want to be able to stop subsequently just as fast. So we've looked at some of the highlights of the 2017 Dodge Charger SRT Hellcat. Now let's go actually build one. Clicking this link will take you over to the Dodge website. We can see that when we mouse over it. We can see that it takes us to Dodge.com. So I've already taken the liberty of loading that page, so that way we didn't have to wait for it to load. Now, you might note that on the SRT site, right, this is the drivesrt.com website that I'm on right here, and they've got the MSRP at $65,945. When you come over to the Dodge website, then it already shows the price at $68,740, and you ask why, and it's because of the gas guzzler tax. It's got a $1,700 gas guzzler tax, so that's automatically tacked on to the end of this. And then I think there's like what the handling charge they put on every car or something like that. But when we get to summary, we'll look through that stuff in summary. So just the details, the base details, we're looking at the 6.2 liter Hemi that we know. The TorqueFlite 8-speed automatic transmission. There's that gas guzzler tax of $1,700. And it looks like an additional mechanical feature or an add-on is you can get an engine block heater for $95. Now, I don't know about you, but that just sounds crazy, because why would you... You should probably never have your Hellcat in some place in a region or out in the elements where it's that cold that you need an engine block heater. But, you know, it is what it is. So I think we could probably skip that $95 add-on, don't you think? If you like this add-on, let me know in the comments below and tell me why. Tell me why it would be a good idea to get this. And I'm curious. I'm really totally serious. So, all right. So we're looking at the basic. This is the powertrain, right? We're under here on powertrain, and it's just letting us know the basics and where we start at, $68,740. Let's move on to packages. See what packages. So, looks like the Power Convenience Group, which is a no-cost option, gives us what? Let's look at the details. That includes power front driver and passenger seats and a power tilt telescoping steering column. Yeah, well, we'll take that ad. Right, that's a no-brainer. And then the Harman Kardon audio group. And if you watch my SRT 392 Dodge Charger build, and I'll put the link to that video in the description below, I talked about this Harman Kardon package. This package for $2,000, $1,995. Are you kidding me? You have to absolutely get this package, because I don't know about you, but I'm a European car guy, or have been for a long time. I'm really considering getting an American car. And so I've been really looking at what you get in an American car and how they package their things together versus like a BMW, for instance. And man, they really nickel and dime you. But you look at this, and they give you a whole package with everything they throw in there, right? This gets the 19 premium speakers, including subwoofer, and the Harman Kardon Green Edge amplifier. Now, Harman Kardon, you'll find those speakers in BMWs, you'll find them in Mercedes, you'll find them in a lot of cars now, but that's where they usually started out at. And they are really good stereos. They're really good speakers. It's a really good component system. And for just $2,000, I take it, because, for instance, I think they changed the brand now. I think it's Bowers and Wilkins now, but before BMW had, you could get an upgraded stereo and it was a Bang & Olufsen system, and that thing can cost you anywhere from $3,500 and up depending on what car you were trying to get that on. So to get this Harman Kardon 19 speaker system for just $19.95, it's literally a steal. It's literally a steal. So, all right, done jabbing with that. Let's move on to exterior, because this thing already comes loaded. So we should have come back and looked at the basic options, because it already comes with everything. It didn't even mention over here in packages. Well, we'll see what it says when it gets to interior besides colors. But in the packages, there was nothing mentioned about like a technology package or anything, with the blind spot assist and all that kind of stuff. So we can already assume right now just the price of entry on having an SRT Hellcat gives you all that stuff by default. We can already assume that because they didn't even offer it in the packages. So, color. What color? Like I said in my other video, I love dark colors, but I also love a really clean car. And I do enjoy detailing my cars, but I don't necessarily want to spend a complete Saturday doing it. So, based on that, I normally go for lighter colors because, well, maybe I think they're easier to keep clean. Maybe a silver, right? What color is this one? Billet exterior paint. That looks a little light, although this configurator doesn't look very realistic. I think the red's attractive too. That's going to still show swirl marks and stuff like that, but maybe not as much work as a black car. But, the black just always looks good. I think maybe in a Hellcat, I'm just going to go ahead and say I'm going to go with black paint on a Hellcat. You've got two options. With wheels, I'm all over these brass monkey wheels. I'm all over these brass monkey wheels. So, select. Alright, because I just think that contrast, I just think that looks good. It just looks really good. And I hear a lot of talk in the forums. I think these things roll on, let's get the details here. Oh, they don't show you. But I think this car rides on 275 with tires at all four corners. And I've seen a lot in the forums about guys running wider tires on the back. But, there might be issues with rub there, right? If you're trying to put say a 305 on the back of this tire. But that's outside the scope of this, but you could certainly do a Google search on that. Then you got a choice of tires. Do you want to run around on all seasons or summers? I'm going to select summer for this one. I think when I did my Dodge Charger 392 build, SRT 392 build, I think I selected performance tires because I think that that's a car that I would drive all four seasons. I think if I had a Dodge Charger Hellcat, I wouldn't be looking to drive it in the winter, and there's just a lot of days that I'm not going to drive that car. So I would probably go for the performance tires on this car. And with all that power, I want as much grip to the pavement as possible, and that's what a summer tire, a performance tire, is going to give you more grip than an all-season tire, even if it's a performance all-season tire. The dual carbon strips. I'm not a big fan. I could see how people could want that, but I like the solid color, and so I'm gonna stick with the solid color. Painted roof. No, I'm gonna keep my roof regular for sure. Let's move on to the interior. So moving on to the interior, what do we got selections of here? Okay. The leather. The whole suede thing, I think the suede stuff is cool. I just don't know how about its wear. How is it going to wear over time? And I even question that in like some of these Porsches that have Alcantara on the steering wheels and Alcantara on the seat. How are they going to wear? And then you compare that to maybe a Dodge product, and you say, is that going to wear even faster? Because that other stuff's going to wear for sure. I think you can't go wrong. With all that said, I think you can't go wrong with the black leather. You can't ever go wrong. There might come a day that you want to get rid of your SRT Hellcat, and black leather is always going to be cool. Always going to be cool. I mean, this sepia interior is attractive, but it's more niche. This black is certainly the way to go. All right, already comes standard with the Uconnect. I know that has Apple CarPlay in it and all that stuff, and that's super cool. Let's see if it gives us. No, it doesn't really give us much information. I don't know why they have these detail things here, and then there's really no details. Power sunroof. You know, I've had, all my cars have always had sunroofs like that, and I've never used them, but I still think it's a good option because, again, resale value. It just makes your car worth more, and it's more desirable. A highly optioned car is just always more desirable, especially in the used car market and in the collector car market as well. Which, for this car, if you bought this car and didn't really intend on driving it, but was buying it as an investment, then you want to make sure that you have cool options on this thing. You want to think about down the road. I think the red seatbelts are worth it. I think that contrasting color is cool. It's fun. It's like sporty. That's nice. And it's only $200. So, I mean, get on it. All right, well, and that's it. I mean, that's literally it. So, it was $68,000 and change, right, including that $1,700 gas guzzler tax. There was not much to add to it because we determined that, let's close. We determined that packages, it already came with all that kind of technology package stuff because they didn't even make mention of it in this section, which this is the section where it would have been there. And I know when I did the Dodge Charger SRT 392, there was other stuff in here talking about equipment and things like that. So it's obviously already in this car already. So if we jump back over here to summary, so in closing, you know, we went over the basic details. We talked about the gas guzzler tax. We touched base on all these high points and determined that, you know, this is a good car. This is a good build with only just under $7,500 in options, right? And for the performance that it puts down, when you think about the money that you're paying for the performance, if you're buying a European car, that could be $174,000 for that performance. So I think it's a good buy. I think it's a really, really good buy. I'm curious to know, however, how you would build your 2017 Dodge Charger SRT Hellcat. If you like this video, please leave some comments below. Let me know what you think about the video. Let me know about what kind of car you'd build. And please give a thumbs up too. Okay? Thank you.